So we are starting our data analytics class, and in our data analytics class we are starting with a very important chapter that is called parameters. Earlier we have studied filters in Tableau. First I will show some basic places where you can see filters. For example, let's say we are loading the orders data. So here we can add filter at the time of loading the data. So at our data screen you can see that. Here let's say we want to analyze data of any particular region. So we can select those regions, click OK, and now we'll have the entire data for this region. So this filter is at the source of, or at the level of, data source. So this filter is at the level of data source. We can remove this filter also. Now when we'll go to sheet, while analyzing any data, let's say we are analyzing all the order IDs with respect to their sales amount and profit. So let's say we want to put sales amount here and profit here. So we are analyzing this, and we can change it to table view. So this is one type of analysis. And let's say we want to add region as a filter here. So this is filter on our sheet, you can say. So filter which is added on our sheet. So you can see central, east, or whatever we can apply. And then we can click here and show filter. So you will be able to see these filters here. Okay. But there is one more thing in Tableau, that is called parameters. Okay. To create parameters, what you have to do is you have to click here, and here you can see create parameter. Okay. Now when you will click on create parameter, this window will open, and here you can give name to your parameter. Here you can select what data type is this parameter and some values. So let's say we want to give a name as region. Okay. So or we'll call it my region or whatever. So this way you can create a parameter by giving it any name. You can select its value. So we can say that it is going to be a string value, and it is going to be a list of value. Okay. So you can either select all, you can select list, or you can select range. In case of numerical value, you can select range also. If it is a string, let's say, so you can add strings here. For example, east, west, north, south, central. We can add as many values here. So this is something that is not part of our data, but something that we are adding additionally. And here you can see the current value is now being fetched as east. You can select any current value. So by default it will always show east. Then user can select this value, and on the basis of selection, records in the data will change. Here you can see fixed, that if you want, you can copy values from a particular column also. So suppose you want to create a parameter that will appear as a filter, and you don't want to write the values, but you can copy the values from a particular field, for example region. So if you will copy them, you will see. Okay. So it's something that you can do. So here you can see every value in the list must have a unique display name. So here we have two centrals, so we can remove one central, and here you can see we have these values. Okay. So this is one way of adding a parameter, which is a string parameter, and when you will add this parameter, so on the upper side you will see tables, and here on footer you will see parameters. Okay. So this is the first thing that you have to do while adding a parameter. Now when you add a parameter, what happens is this particular parameter can be displayed here. So you can right click and click on show parameter. So this parameter will start showing here. Okay, and then user can select this and it will work as a filter. So first let's again drag some values here. So again we'll do the same thing. We already have this data. What we can do, this parameter will be visible on all the sheets. We can add parameter. When we will change this parameter, you can see it is not changing anything. Whether we select west, north or whatever value we are selecting, it is not changing anything. So that's why I am listing simple steps here. Simple steps are: create a parameter, and while creating the parameter you have to first select data type, and then if it is a string value you can select list of values. If it is a numerical value you can select range of values. We'll create different type of parameters, and parameters in itself is a very important thing. So what we first we have done with the list of values, and the most important thing is you have to kind of tag parameter with a calculated field, then only it will work. So when you will tag parameter with a calculated field, then it will work. Okay. So calculated field or a field that you have. So we have created the parameter my region. Now we will create a calculated field. So we will call it CF my region. CF means calculated field my region. Okay. So now when you will write this, you will see this parameter will also be available here. So you can drag parameter. Okay, and on the basis of this you can create some kind of relation or something. So now you can see this is available in purple color currently, and if you drag a existing field that is not a calculated field or a parameter, you will see this is available in orange color. So that's how you can differentiate parameters. Okay, so here we have written my region, and what you can do is you can write your conditions here. So for example, if region if our field region is equal to my region, then we will write 1, else we will write 0 and end. This is a very basic type of calculation. What we are saying here in this calculated field is, if the selected value from the my region parameter is equal to any region, then we will write 1, else we will write 0 end. Although this is a very this is a parameter that has very little use, but it is very helpful in understanding the concept. Let's apply and click OK. And now what we can do is we can display this CF my region. Okay. So currently you can see we have selected south. Okay. And it is sum of CF my region. It is actually showing us sum. So instead of order ID, what we can do, we will simply show row ID so that we have one value. So here 1010. So in those cells where south region is there, you will see 1, and in those regions where there is anything other than south region, you will see 0. If you will change it to east, you will see. Okay. If you will change it to north, so if the order has been, because there is no north region in our data, there is no north region, so you will see 0 everywhere. South, you will see that these orders belongs to south. So row ID number 1 belong to south, row ID 2 belongs to south. Let's confirm. Row ID 1 and 2 belong to south. So this is the work of a parameter. I will explain once again. So first of all, we click here and we create a parameter. We can name this parameter anything. So this time we will call it my month. Let's say my month, or you can call it P, what we call it also something like PM my month parameter, or P my month, so that we understand this is a parameter. This time if we select integer, okay, when we have selected integer, we can select a range, and you can also select values from different columns. Okay, so you can select from postal code, quantity, or row ID. So here what we'll do minimum 1, maximum 31, and step size, which is the common difference, we will select 1. So what this parameter will automatically do, it will create values from 1 to 31. Okay, or because it's month, so we'll write 1 to 12. Okay, so that is month is 1, month is 12, or something. And when you will click OK, it will show you P my month. And now when you will show this parameter, you will see it has a range of 1 to 12. Okay, you can click here, and you can also use it as a type in, like 1, 2, 3, or you can do it as a slider, and you can customize it. You can see show slider, so slider is not showing now, and you can use these arrows to increase the value one by one. It will start from 1 and go up to 12. So these parameters are basically used for interactive filters, and these filters kind of affect the data, but they affect the data only when these parameters are attached or used in a calculated field, and that calculated field should be part of the view. So in previous case, you can see sum of CF my region is part of the view. That's why when we are changing the parameter, you can see the values are changing. But when we are changing this, values are not changing, because this is something not part of the view. So we have created this parameter, which is a month, but as we said, it is not changing anything, because we have not used this parameter along with any calculated field that is part of the view or filter or anything. Okay, so first of all, we'll create a simple concept. This is called int month. Int month means we want the integer value of the month. For example, if month is equal to, I'm just giving a concept here, if month is equal to January, so what should we display? Then 1, something like that, right? If month is equal to February, then 2, and so on. So whatever is the int value of the month. For this, we have many date related functions in Tableau. Like month is a function, okay, like day is a function, and year is a function. So you can use year, month or date function to extract some part of the, extract some part of the date as an integer value. So that means if you will write month, okay, if you will write month of order date, so what it will give you, it will give you an integer date, integer month, okay, and we can verify it by putting here. So here you can see 11, 11, 6, 10. Let's go to row number 1 on our data to verify. So as you can see in row number 1, the month is 11, 11. That means it is November. And the same thing is something that we are seeing here, 11. But still it will not change, okay. We have selected month as 9, but it is not showing, it is not filtering the data, although the filter is there, because now what we have to do is we have to modify it a little bit. Let's write month of date is equal to. Now this is another trick that we are going to learn, and just write the name of parameter, and this is a valid calculation. Now do you get this point? We are saying month of the order date should equal the parameter my month. And what type of field will this be? What type of calculated field will this be? Earlier you can see it was an integer field, but right now since we have just compared these two variables, and output of this comparison is either going to be a true or a false, so you will see that this, first of all we have to remove this, and you will see it's now a TF field. What is a TF field? It's a true false field, okay. So let me open this again. So when you create a field which is nothing but just a comparison, so that type of field is a true or false or a boolean field, okay. And since it is a boolean field, what you can do is you can add it to filter and only select true, okay, and apply. And now what we will do, we will also just so that we are clear that we are seeing this also, so we can drag month here. So we will drag the order date into this. So we will drag order date and we'll show it as, just a minute, we'll drag order date here, because it will first show as a numerical value. What we want is, we want month. So now you can see month of July, 7 month of July, 8 all rows of August, 9 everything of September, 10 everything of October. So this way you are showing the month as a string, but using the filter as a number, and this is how you are seeing only those records which are from July month. only those records which are from May month. So this is what a parameter can do. With the help of a parameter, we can create a filter like this. So let's look at our filter first, or parameter. So when we created this parameter, we selected a name, we selected its data type, we selected its current value. Current value is dynamic, which is based on the selection, and we selected value from workbook. When workbook opens, it will always show the current value. Display format is 5. You can also select different type of display formats like currency, scientific. This is something we'll discuss again. Minimum is 1, maximum is 12. You must have studied arithmetic progression. In arithmetic progression, there is a thing called common difference, which is nothing but this is step size. So whenever you are defining a range, so there are three parameters: where the range starts, where the range ends, and what are the common differences between values. The common difference between values is this, and then you can create this parameter. So this is one such example. So now we are seeing East region sales. One is there, right? So we have not added in crew. Step size is common difference, yes, and we have not added the my region thing, or the region as a parameter. We have not added as a filter. That's why we are saying 0 1 here, but we have added the in month as a filter, so we are only seeing the true values here. So this is what you can do. Let's try to create another type of parameter here, and we will click here and create a parameter, and we will call it select date range. Okay, select date range. Now we will select its data type as date. Okay, and here you have a list or a range. So you can see range. In the range, it has already selected minimum as 9/9/2024 and maximum as 18/12/2024. Based on some type of data. But what we'll do is, because in our data actually we have data between 2014 to 2017. So we will write 1/1/2014 to 31/12/2017. So we are selecting the starting day as first day of 2014 and ending day as last day of 2017, and step size is 1 day. Obviously you can select 1 week, you can select 1 quarter, whatever frequency you want to select. First we'll keep it simple and select 1 day, and this value select date range is now created. And as you can see, even in the parameters you will be able to see their data types. Okay, like ABC, and green and blue also, which represent something like what type of variable they are. First of all, I will create a sheet here. In this sheet I will select order date. I will select order date as day, or maybe let's select month. I will select, because I don't want to select day wise, and here I will simply show sales, and I will also show profit in the same scale. So now we are seeing sales and profit. Now we want to add our parameter here. So all you have to do is just click show, and here you will see a date range. Okay, And now what we can do is we have to tag this date range with our order date. Okay, and since we have a month already, so what we can do, we can either remove this. So first let's hide this, and we'll add month as a parameter. So we'll show parameter month, and here what you will do is we'll add that int month as true. So here we have selected month as 5. So in every year you can see May of 2014, May of 2015, May of 2016, May of 2017, you can see. You can do it with the date range also. In that case it will show data of only that date, and then instead of month you have to select day. So here you can see, right, for every year, every month, like for every year, what was the value of August, what was sales in August, what was profit in August, you can see here. So we have created another graph here. In this graph, instead of taking month here, we have taken day. Okay, and since this data is at the level of day, we have selected the date range filter, where we have selected one day as a step size. Now what we will try to do is, we will try to see if we change this filter, will this graph show data of only that day. Okay, because on that particular day there may be one sale, two sale, and number of sales, so it will show sum of sales obviously. Now what we can do is, so we'll create a calculated field here, and we will call it selected date, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, and here we'll put select date range is equal to order date. Okay, most of the times but since order date is predefined, we'll actually do it like that. We are asking, is order date equal to selected date range? If it is true, then show that data. If it is false, we'll not show anything. So now we'll simply drag it to filter and only select the true part. And here you can see, because it is showing 2000, let's see on which date we had an order to check. Actually we are seeing a data, actually we are seeing this data. Instead of bar, let's say interline, let's say bar, yeah, then we'll see this data. So because it will only show one date, right? So for every date it is showing amount of sale. So what we can do is, we can also drag the sales amount in label, so that we can see the change. Okay, so date by date we are seeing that. Later we can also create two filters. One is start date and one is end date, and we can try to create a calculated field in such a way that if selected date is greater, if the order date is greater than equal to the start date and less than equal to the end date, then show the data. So we'll do that also. Now this is simple example. We'll again in next class we'll discuss many things, like we will select top n selector. In top n selector, we will select list of integers to show top n products. We have done this also, like we have done this with the help of index function. We'll do the same thing with the help of parameters. We will also use measure selector. So measure selector is what we can change the measure dynamically. So for example, currently this is showing sales, right? What if instead of sales we put a parameter here? Do you get my point? So it can be sales, it can be profit. So let's simply try whether we can do this very quickly. So we'll just duplicate this. Here we are going to create a parameter called select measure. Okay. And here you will select a string. You will select a list. We have 4 measures: discount, profit, quantity. We have to write the spellings correctly. And last is sales. First of all, do it get this much. Like these are the 4 measures in our data. Okay. Every time when we select something, it says sum of sales, sum of profit, because we have to drag that. What if we create a graph like this? We show a parameter. If we have selected profit, it should show profit. We have selected quantity, it should show quantity, and so on. Do you get my point? So as you can see, currently it is not showing that. Okay, because obviously we have not created any calculated field to bind this parameter. Now this is select measure. Okay, this is our parameter that we are calling select measure. We'll create a calculated field here. Okay, and we'll call this calculated field as selected measure. Okay, like what is the selected measure? And we'll see case. So just like if, else if, there is a calculated field called case. So in case of case, is if we have 4 or 5 cases, right? So we are saying if case select measure, it means when this case of select measure, okay, is sales. This is very, very important. So it may be any parameter, and if the value of that parameter is something, then what do you want to display or what do you want to select from your data, right? So from our data we simply want to show sales. Do you get this point or not? So case select measure, that means if in the selected measure sales is selected, then show sales. Okay, when profit is selected, then show profit or select profit. Okay, this is important thing. You have to revise all of this. So just replay the video so that you can revise. When quantity, so you just have to write everything, like whatever number of cases you have. When, what is the last one? Discount. When discount, then discount. You can also show different things, and end. Okay. So in case, this is how you can bind your measure with your calculated field. That when user has selected sales, then show sales, profit, then show profit, quantity, then show quantity, and so on. We'll apply OK. As you can see, this is also a measure. So we'll get rid of this from here and we'll add selected measure here. It is showing 167, which is what the profit is. Quantity, sales. Okay, so what is happening right now? What is happening right now is we have to get rid of this also, and here also we have to select the selected measure. Okay, sales, discount, 0.4, profit, 16.8. Okay, quantity, 6. So this is how you can use selected measure, and instead of showing only one measure, you can give user the freedom to select any measure of his or her choice. So we'll discuss more about parameters in our next class. One video cannot be sufficient to discuss all of this. First, I would like you to go through all of this. I have already recorded this session. I'll put it on YouTube. You can go through all of this, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me. If you are a random user, you can ask me on YouTube in comment section, and other students who have joined from Google Meet can simply ask me in the WhatsApp or Google Meet.